Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll, please.
Mayor Bailey.
Here.
Mr. Bateman.
Here.
Mr. Blair.
Here.
Mr. Hart.
Here.
Mr. Ori.
Here.
Vice Mayor Phelps.
Here.
Mr. Ping.
Here.
Welcome, everyone. With us tonight, we have our Director of Finance, Mark Medler, Assistant City Manager, Corey Wright, Clerk of Council, Misty Clark, City Manager, Dave Kennedy, City Solicitor, Joe Braun, our Fire Chief, Ott Huber, and our Police Chief, Michael Gabrielson. Our Captain, Gangler, is hiding back there, and also several other esteemed members of our police departments and our fire department, including we have our chaplain, Phil Spence, is here, and we also have Deputy Chief John Fry present via Zoom. We have former council member Todd Osborne, council member-elect Brian Goodyear, and former Mayor Rob Weisgerber is here. I don't think I missed anyone. If I did, I apologize. So welcome to everyone. Let's start with recognition of City Council Member Kent Blair. Meet me at the podium.
What? Oh. All right. It's an ambush?
There. Something like that. All right. So, Mr. Blair. I met Mr. Blair about 6 years ago. I will admit I was not too sure about Mr. Blair when I first met him. He has a big personality. He and I are very different in many ways.
Not in the personality size.
Figured out, though, very quickly that really we agree on the only thing that mattered as far as this position, and that is our love for this city. We served together for 2 years and then campaigned together along with rock star Andy Bateman over there 4 years ago. Andy, I'm sorry, now I'm thinking of him. Kent.
Harry Potter.
I know, it does. That's better. Well, Ted just called him rock star, so I don't know. So Kent has served then for 6 years on council. He has served on several different committees, including the Community Improvement Corporation and the Finance Commission. I really appreciated his involvement in the Finance Commission because that is his background. And he was able to come back to council and explain things to those of us who's not its background in ways that we and I think people that are watching and were paying attention could understand. So that was always helpful to me. I've really appreciated working with Kent over these last 6 years. When I try to think about how would I describe him as a council member, I would say he's a very smart man. No question about that. No ego. He's extremely humble. Wasn't out here trying to make a name for himself in some way. Extremely unselfish. Passionate about this city and its residents. A man of high integrity. Always found him to be an honest man. And I think the thing that really always impressed me about him is an absolutely unrivaled enthusiasm for this city. I think he is the city's biggest cheerleader and certainly conducted himself that way over these last 6 years. On a personal level, I have found Kent to be a great ally on council. He talked me off the ledge on several occasions, helped me see things certainly from a different perspective. I found Kent to be a great sounding board. I don't know how many times when I was on my way home from downtown Cincinnati, I did it again today, would call Kent and so you're stuck in traffic? I am. So we would talk for the next half hour about all things Loveland and other things too. So really appreciated that. And Kent has become a good friend, a cherished friend. I've enjoyed that's been a real blessing about being on council is you're not just serving with these people, you make friendships, and yours is certainly one that I've come to treasure. So I personally have benefited from having been granted the privilege of working with Kent these last 6 years, and I think the city of Loveland is certainly better for having had Mr. Blair serving on city council. So thank you for all you've done for this city. For you, you've not seen yet, it is the city of Loveland.
How cool is that?
council is
Of course.
who came up with this, because as most of you probably know, Kent, there's your name, is a woodworker of the highest order. So this
Well, thank you.
in your wheelhouse.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I have.
I know
words-
you do.
Okay,
I know you
all
have
right.
things to say. Do you want to say them here, or do you want to?
No. I just as soon sit down to say them.
Well, then I'm sitting down too.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I was all set to be dry while I did this, but as the mayor indicated, we spoke this afternoon, and so I don't know. Anyway, I have these just in case. All right. Thank you, Mayor. With my term on City Council coming to a close, I'd like to give some thanks, some reflections, and some encouragement to my colleagues here, the amazing city staff, my many friends, and this city that we all love so much. Loveland is a lot like Mayberry, but with high-speed internet, gourmet tacos, appletinis, and traffic. When I was named to an open position on council in early 2017, it was a time of noise, chaos, division, and uncertainty. Now, I can assure you that no one who takes one of these chairs has any idea what they've gotten themselves into. You may think your prior experiences and careers can help you, and they do, but putting the hopes and needs and dreams of Lovelanders on your shoulders is a huge responsibility with negligible authority. It will keep you up at night. It will make you second guess yourself. Opinions are like belly buttons. Everybody has one. And if you want to sit up here, then you had better start and end every day remembering to take 12,000 belly buttons into account. There can be no personal or political agendas, only what's best for Loveland. I'm very proud to say that for the most part, the past 6 years have seen city council meetings get boring again, just as they should be when government is working for the people. Shortly after I joined council, the Bishop Building fire torched much of what was historical Loveland. I had nothing to do with the fire. A phoenix rose from the ashes. What this city, the staff, the fire department, the police department, the commissions, the committees, the city council, and the people of Loveland did in the aftermath of that fire over the past 6 years has been nothing short of astonishing. Loveland is now one of the best run, most attractive, welcoming places to live in the entire tri-state, and I would say even beyond. But smooth seas never made a skilled sailor, and there have been some storms. COVID came and went. Visions of the future have clashed. Through it all, working together, we have accomplished a lot. The comprehensive plans for downtown, West Loveland Avenue, Nisbet Park, Loveland Madeira, a rehab safety center, a new fire station, a new public works building that ushered in the solar age. Huge increases in size and improvements to our parklands. Continuous steps to improve traffic flow and parking, upgrading city staffing, the Chestnut Street rehabilitation work, the water main replacement program, the new lighting ordinance, an energized community improvement corporation, and revitalization efforts in the Heights. Loveland is better than it was 6 years ago. I'm very proud that I got to be a part of that. Any community service is an honor. To be chosen to render that service by the community is an even higher honor. In 2019, 1,873 people chose me, and I happily incurred a debt of gratitude. Hopefully, the people got their votes worth, and the debt is at least partially repaid. As the saying goes, a good shepherd smells like his sheep. I got up every morning doing my best to listen to and to serve all 12,000 of us the best I could in word, thought, and deed. I have a lot of people to thank. I want to thank Jane Gonzalez, without whom I would never have made it here. I want to thank Shonda Gentry, Sherry Hamlin, Diane Bomar, Patty Sandmeyer, Pat Mays, Lisa Freeman, my witch's coven, and the wizard himself, Todd Osborne. I want to thank Colonel Paxton Ranger Rob Weisgerber for his mentorship and for his continued service to our city on the Finance Commission and his leadership, along with Misty Clark of Loveland U. And I also want to thank Rob Portman, who got me into this in the first place. I want to thank Mayor Kathy Bailey for taking a big risk and bearing a lot of undeserved grief for it. I want to thank my colleagues on this council, Kip, Ted, John, Andy, and my brother in sawdust, Neil Ori, for their tolerance, goodwill, and friendship. I want to thank Dave Kennedy for his leadership, patience, and eternal optimism. I want to thank Misty Clark for her patience, along with everything else she does to make this city run, and join her in celebrating the number of trees that will be saved because of my term's end. I want to thank Mark Medler, who never made me feel like a dope, asking him questions about why the heck we're doing this or buying that. I want to thank Corey Wright, who at some point will be leading all of us into the future, and for being willing to listen to the ravings of an old man. I want to thank Joe Braun for his guidance on what a CIC could really be. And to the Chiefs, I tip my hat in respect for the work you and your teams do every day. It's been an honor to work with you and get to know you. Most of all, I want to thank Patty Melson for putting up with me and never hesitating to stick a pin in my ego or deliver a kick in the pants when I need it. Along the way, I made a lot more friends than enemies. My friends have all forgiven me for the most part, and my enemies aren't worth worrying about. I was a designated historical artifact when I joined this bunch, and a glance around the dais will confirm that I leave with my title intact, and that's a good thing. I genuinely believe that there is no finer example of an elected city council anywhere that has greater devotion to its constituents and greater commitment to nonpartisan local government than has served Loveland, Ohio over the past 2 years. Throughout my tenure, I have been the rose of one party among 6 thorns of another party. But it made no difference in the ways we worked together, the regard we shared for each other, and the outcomes we accomplished. Our state and national governments could take a lesson from Loveland City Council. I hope they do, as there may be dark days ahead for America and Ohio if they don't. In any event, and I'll paraphrase Senator Ted Kennedy's speech at the close of the 1980 DNC convention as I look to Loveland's future. The city's work continues to build the best life a council can for its community. Council's cause is efficient, responsive, compassionate, common sense government that models the goals of the families who call Loveland home. Along the way, I hope that City Council continues to show anyone who looks at our city what collaborative, nonpartisan collegiality, the Loveland way, can do. And that the dream of what Loveland can become gets passed forward, not as a question, but as an ethic, a motivator, a drive for those who come after us. Senator Kennedy said, "The work goes on, the cause endures, the hope still lives, and the dreams will never die." Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
My what? Oh, yeah.
Let's do a picture.
Oh. I know. Oh, cool.
On your hat.
enough time.
Right. So half of my cameras are from the only one that needed to work. Worked.
Official photographer.
I love that.
I would too.
For sure. I've gotten that. That's not the first time.
No, but my son would love that.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Now I can find my way home.
Next on the agenda is the oath of office for Police Property Room Manager Aaron Gotts.
All right. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, staff, thank you for your continued support for the men and women of Loveland Police Department who proudly serve our great community. LPD is closing out the year by continuing to add great employees, and tonight I want to introduce everyone to Aaron Gottsy, our new Property Room Manager. Aaron is joined tonight by her husband of 13 years, Chris, who's over in the corner there. Her children, Carter, 12, and Lucas, 5, sitting next to him. Mother-in-law, Susan Gottsy, and father, Pete Williams, seated there. Aaron is a graduate of the University of Cincinnati with a bachelor's in liberal arts, majoring in criminal justice. She started her career in law enforcement as a corrections officer with the Claremont County Sheriff's Office, then spent 17 years with Union Township Police Department, first in patrol, and then moving on to criminal investigations. Aaron felt police work was far too easy and then took on a much more difficult job of caring for Chris, Carter, and Lucas full-time for the past several years. After Lucas started school full-time, Aaron decided to go back to work, and luckily we found her. In her spare time, Aaron enjoys reading and volunteering with the Deputy Bill Brewer 2055 Foundation, Cub Scouts, and the Children's Ministry at Anderson Hills Church. In addition to everything Aaron brings to LPD, she also is a major improvement in helping us provide additional service to our citizens by staffing the LPD property room with consistent hours every day, Monday through Friday now. So everyone, I'd like to introduce Aaron, and Mayor, if you would.
Okay. We're very happy to have you here. Looks like you have the perfect background, and I've heard nothing but good things, so welcome. Let's swear you in officially.
All right.
All right. I state your name.
I, Aaron Gottsy,
Solemnly swear that I will
solemnly swear that I will
support the Constitution of the United States,
support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Charter and ordinances
and the Charter and ordinances
of the City of Loveland,
of the City of Loveland,
and will obey the laws thereof,
and will obey the laws thereof,
and will faithfully discharge the duties
and will faithfully discharge the duties
of Property Room Manager
of Property Room Manager
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm very honored to have the opportunity to serve the City of Loveland and the Police Department.
Glad to
Thank
have
you.
you. All right, want to walk around and shake everybody's hand? And we'll do a picture, Chief.
Welcome.
Pretty good. Congratulations.
Best of luck.
Ready for picture?
I'm already. Aaron, glad you're here.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
From there, if you want, if you want to. And your kids, anybody you want. Everybody. If you just do all on the sheet, one do that. One more. One more. All right, now your family.
Hmm.
Right there. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'd like to thank you for allowing us this evening to make this presentation. I'm here this evening representing the Loveland Sims Firefighters Association. As you know, the philanthropic effort of our organization has served many causes over the past 5 decades, resulting in millions of dollars returned to the community of worthy organizations. And yes, I did say million. Annually, one of our fundraising efforts in our Fill a Boot and Dine with a Firefighter event. This event happens every year in October during Cancer Awareness Month. In the past from this event include organizations such as the National Firefighter Cancer Support Network, the Susan G. Komen Foundation, the Dragonfly Foundation, and the Shriner Burns Hospital. It is very fitting to present this check this evening on what has become known as Giving Tuesday, a day when everyone is encouraged to give freely to help others. Cancer is an evil disease that ravages our communities daily. We have experienced several of our own members who have suffered from this disease and some that continue to suffer as we speak. The last couple of years, we have chosen a local charity that works diligently to bring smiles to the faces of those inflicted by this horrific illness. But first, I want to thank a few people that have helped to make this year's event a huge success. Our Fill a Boot team, Deputy Chief John Fry, who is joining us today from the Jewish Hospital Cancer Center. John has been re-diagnosed. His leukemia is back, and he has to go through another bone marrow transplant coming up, but he got good news today that they've been able to put that into remission and moving forward so he can get another transplant. Captain Chris Ellis is his team member on managing that. I think Captain Ellis is gone on an emergency call right now. And our firefighters and their spouses. We'd also like to thank our corporate sponsors who have helped with this year's event. Miller Heating and Air, Brian and Erica Miller. They're with us here tonight. PCS, Jeff and Jenny Hollingsworth. John and Kevin and their team at Ramsey's Trailside. And Mike Huber with Dinsmore and Scholl. Now I'd like to introduce Robbie Wellington and his team with the Karen Wellington Foundation, this year's recipient of our $15,000 Fill a Boot campaign.
This means a lot, and like we like to say in this foundation, this is a growing group of friends, and this thing started with my mom when I was a little guy, not too much older than some of the little guys around here before was diagnosed with cancer. She was a Cincinnati mom, had a lot of Loveland friends, and fought for a long time, but when I was around 12, she passed away. We thought in lieu of flowers and her funeral, wouldn't it be cool if we could send one other Cincinnati mom living with cancer with her kids on a vacation? They vacation we could have gone. In that first year, we did 1 vacation. That second year, we did 3. In that third year, we did a few more. We started to expand from downtown Cincinnati over to places like Loveland. And now this year, with the help of these ladies behind us, and especially with the help of the fire department here, we will do about 2,000 gifts of fun because of you guys. So I appreciate it. This means the world to us. So in college, I met Mike Hubert, who's around here somewhere, and unfortunately met Chief Hubert through him. And like I mentioned, this growing group of friends works because they were able to met you guys and everybody else in this room that gets what we're about. And as was mentioned earlier, this is Giving Tuesday. So Lori, who I'm going to invite up here, has a special message about Giving Tuesday. And if you want to be part of this growing group of friends, this growing family, she's got a great way to be a part.
Hi, everybody. Thank you again. I just want to say this city is so amazing, and typically when I come to things like this, I'll wear my pink KWF shirt, but of course tonight I have my John Fry 2.0 on. Good vibes and prayers, John. So it is Giving Tuesday, and I want everybody to know that we give first here at this foundation. So what we would like to ask of all of you is to nominate someone today that you know lives with breast cancer. So I'm going to bring these cards around and leave them with you. You might not know somebody today. If you don't, that's a good thing. But if you do in the future, we want you to use us, okay?
Yep, and as Lori passes those around, this can be anyone. We say here, as unfair as cancer is, take one of these cards, or if you don't have one, Google Karen Wellington Foundation. If you've got somebody at home, if you have a hand, if you have somebody at work, if you know anybody that is having a terrible year fighting this thing, nominate them for something fun.
So the mayor can present the check.
Lori, you're in here too. Come on.
We got it. Yeah, we want all the firemen and all of our sponsors.
We'll stand
Our
up.
sponsors here. Council can stand behind us with everybody up there.
This is my favorite one. The big group shots. Yeah.
I mean, you guys.
Cool kicks.
Thanks.
No?
Yeah, some in October, I think.
All right.
Are you guys gonna let me in?
No.
Yeah. No.
I'm not allowed. That's fine. That's fine. Gosh, I don't know if I'm gonna get everybody.
Oh, I think we're good.
We're fine. We're fine.
We're good.
We can kneel. Everybody kneel.
Yeah.
I meant up here. I was joking. Okay.
Deputy Chief, have a good evening.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
The big ones are fun.
It
looked neat.
Time flies.
They're usually the ones we have the least.
Thanks for coming. See you, buddy.
Did you? No. I knew her. I did the church together. But I
It's all the way from elementary school.
Oh yeah. Remember you told me. Yeah. Got a neat see it helping.
What's the matter?
At
It's-
the time before he did it with back.
Chief, it's important to know that I remember, and I know that the other members of council who were here at the time remember very clearly when we saw that video you showed us of what it was like to have a house fire, 30, 40 years ago versus having a house fire today, and the horrible increase in exposure to cancerous causing substances that our fire departments face every day. And so I know you will, and I'd appreciate if you'd share on the behalf of all of us, how much we appreciate those guys and gals, because they put their lives at risk every day. I mean, they sign up for a possible life sentence when they come to work at a fire department, just as the police do, and it doesn't go unnoticed.
Thank you, Councilman. I'll make sure that I pass those on to the firefighters for sure. Thank you very much.
Okay, open forum. Rob Weisgerber.
This ought to be good.
Rob Weisgerber, 240 East Loveland Avenue. I was going to sign up twice just to talk about Kent a little bit and then just give some ramblings. But since nobody else signed up, I thought I would talk about Kent. So I want to first thank you, Kent, for what you've provided to the city of Loveland and to me personally. You not only have served the residents in the city of Loveland, but you've also taught. You've taught me and others how to focus on purpose and results, not differences. In today's world, it seems acceptable, if not expected, to dismiss or even hate someone because they have a different opinion, idea, or in the other party. Kent has embodied just the opposite. He has demonstrated his fundamental understanding of purpose, the purpose of Loveland government, what is needed for the residents' safety, health, and well-being. He has brought his unique perspective and has caused open discussion to reach better solutions, not just to make a point or to prove that he's right. Kent's service on council, the CIC, finance, are emblematic of his behavior. On finance, I dare to say he exhibits conservative practices. But in reality, he's looking out for the city and residents through sound budget discipline. He brings solid understanding, great challenging questions, and suggestions for solutions. On occasion, Kent and I have had our different opinion, but honest debate and conversation with respectful listening has granted mutual understanding. I haven't given up on converting you yet, Kent, but we'll keep working on it. But Kent has been and is an outstanding example for all of us on how to listen, how to constructively contribute, stand up for your purpose and your beliefs, and how to be honest in relationships for the benefit of all. I appreciate having served with you on council as well as finance. I want to again thank you, and I'm proud to have served with you, but most of all to call you friend. Thank you, Kent.
Thank you, Rob.
All right. Next is I need to approve the minutes of the November 14th, 2023 City Council Capital Improvement Program work session. Are there any changes, additions to those?
Move to approve as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Bateman?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Ori?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps?
Yes.
Mr. Ping?
Abstained as I was not here the whole meeting.
Mayor Bailey?
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
All right. Next is the City Council meeting minutes from November 14th, 2023 of the actual council meeting. Is there any changes or additions?
Move to approve as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Ori?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps?
Yes.
Mr. Ping?
Yes.
Mayor Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Bateman?
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Next, we have a public hearing. Mr. Kennedy, did you have a few words to kick it off?
City Council set this public hearing in conjunction with the first reading of transferring a city-owned parcel to the CIC, which was in conjunction with the city manager's declaration the property is no longer needed for public purpose. This is fairly commonplace when the city wants to sell the property, transfer the property, or allow the CIC to look at what's best for the property in a different way than what the Ohio Revised Code or our own charter dictates how the city must dispose of property. I use this as an example, and I know I use it all the time, but when the city sold the homestead up at White Pillars, that was never about the highest price. That was simply about finding someone who respected the property, who could get in there, and they actually, if you recall, the city CIC actually took a lesser amount. What the CIC decides to do with the Chestnut Street property is TBD, to be determined, but this would allow them a lot more flexibility in deciding that property's future. The legislation, I don't speak again, is a second reading. This transfer, it dictates what happens to the proceeds of the property if there is any proceeds. So we set the public hearing to be in line with the second reading.
All right. Thank you. Can we have a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll move to open the public hearing so that we can receive public comment about the Chestnut acreage.
Second.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Ori?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps?
Yes.
Mr. Ping?
Yes.
Mayor Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Bateman?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
There's no one signed up to speak at the public hearing. Can we have a motion to close the public hearing?
Move to close.
Thank you. Is there a second? Did we get a second?
Yes.
Second.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Ori?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps?
Yes.
Mr. Ping?
Yes.
Mayor Bailey?
Yes.
Bateman? Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
All right. So the ordinance is the next item on the agenda. So let's go ahead and read the ordinance and then we can discuss it if there's any discussion.
Ordinance transferring real property on Chestnut Street located in the city of Loveland, Hamilton County, Ohio, to the Community Improvement Corporation of Loveland.
Thank you. Does anybody have any comment, questions regarding this? Yes, Mr. Hart.
Just a quick comment. I want to applaud Mr. Kennedy. I think this is important to point out that the transparency of why we're doing this and the picture he continues to paint whenever we've done something like this. It's important. There's no hiding behind why we're doing this. We're doing this to take property in the best way possible, not to make money, not to necessarily enrich anybody, but it's to ensure that it's handled properly and we don't have to jump through a bunch of hoops that would otherwise make that maybe not possible. So thank you, Mr. Kennedy.
Thank you. Any further comment?
To his point, the CIC is the best solution. To Mr. Hart's point, the CIC is the best solution for the disposition of the property, primarily because, as Mr. Kennedy pointed out, the CIC can do things that the city can't with that property to make it better for its highest and best use and best for the city alone.
Yes. Any other comments? Yes, Mr. Bateman.
Just following along that point, is there any? I know, Mr. Kennedy, you mentioned future plans or TBD for this. Can you maybe just paint as broad strokes as possible if you see this as being within the CIC taking a more proactive role, being able to potentially, market the property, or is it more reactive, but being in the CIC, there's more flexibility?
It's more flexibility, but I have to remind everyone, the city held on to that property for a reason. We held on that property until we, if you recall, secured the Brogan property 501. Until that point in time that the city secured the Brogan property, it would have been a little foolish for the city to dispose of this property earlier, as we're getting ready to, thanks to the grant and Corey's hard work, invest millions of dollars in remediating it. Once 501, which was the preferred access to the Chestnut Street property, was acquired, the structure raised, that opened up the door. So that opened the window. The CIC just grants a lot of flexibility. They will hold meetings. They can bring people into executive session to discuss what they would like to do with the property. They could come to city council and say, at this point in time, we feel it's best to just sit on the property. And but that's to be determined. They know it's coming. But primarily, it's the flexibility that allows them to not simply put out a notice, take the highest dollar amount, and move forward. That's the main attraction.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Anything else? All right. Call the roll, please.
Vice Mayor Phelps?
Yes.
Mr. Ping?
Yes.
Mayor Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Bateman? Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Ori?
Yes.
Ordinance 115 is adopted by a vote of 7-0.
All right. We have another ordinance that is a second reading. Go ahead and read that.
Ordinance to make appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Loveland, State of Ohio, during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2024.
Does anyone have any questions or comments regarding that ordinance? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Ping?
Yes.
Mayor Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Bateman?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Ori?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps?
Yes.
Ordinance 116 is adopted by a vote of 7-0.
Mr. Kennedy?
So, as ever, a lot of people are aware, the Ohio EPA back in March of 2023 announced that they were going to begin to put levels that must be met by all public water treatment plants, any kind of public water facility. And the city decided, and actually very quickly, that was in March, by May, we had already met with a engineer that specializes in water systems, Burgess and Knightbull. And there's certain inevitabilities, and one of those, it is inevitable that at some point there will be a level, there'll be a number that the city's water treatment plant must meet and will meet. And rather than sit back and wait, the city decided to try to get active in this role. And one of those includes going ahead and securing the services of Burgess and Knightbull to begin the study of what modifications will need to be done. Everyone's going to have to do this sooner or later. We decided to do this now. This will allow us to budget, chase grant monies, do everything we need to do to be ahead of the game when the numbers come down. One other item, if you're peeling back the onion to say to do steps that you need to do to treat for PFAS, it would be foolhardy for the city not to take those same opportunities to potentially improve our water quality, because there are certain components that this will mirror a discharge and so on and so forth. So we felt, and actually the mayor and I talked about this in great detail, because I take great pride in the fact that all the city staff met with many residents when we did the WMR fee, and in their house, in their front porch here at City Hall. And one common thing was fairly clear was, we understand Washington City maybe take steps to do softening, which would be one of our water. So that's why this study is both called PFAS and a softening study, because we want to take this opportunity to look at what kind of costs we're dealing with that. So this is a simple study. The city had some underrun money this year in our water fund, and we decided this would be a good use of those monies to go ahead and begin this study now.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? Mr. Hart?
To pay this, look, I see it $46,500. Is that correct? here?
Yes.
That'll come out of this year's
Yes.
auto underruns from this year.
Yes. If you recall, the city, we had a fairly large amount of money earmarked in the water fund in the hopes of getting a grant for a generator at the water treatment plant. It's sort of a good news, bad news. The bad news is we didn't get the grant. The good news is that allowed the city some extra money at the end of this year. If you recall that you've already approved the improvements to the water tank, the rust emulsion improvements, and a complete and total rehab of well 3. So those funds were used towards that. This is a good use of these funds too. This puts us way out of the game, probably of many communities.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor?
Yeah, I just think it's important to emphasize the fact that we're not in any kind of emergency environmental crisis in the city.
No.
To the contrary, we're not anywhere close to being out of compliance with current environmental rules and regulations, and as such, we're actually doing more than a reactive. We're doing a proactive state move here. And I think it's wise to couple with what we're doing with the softening as well. So I just think it's important for the community to know that we're get ahead of this issue. And other communities are kind of with us, and some of them will be taking action after us. That it's nice to be sort of in the foreground of what needs to be done to eliminate this PFAS problem.
Right.
Thank you. Any further comment, question? All right, we'll go ahead and read the resolution, please.
Resolution authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement with Burgess and Nyepel for professional engineering services for the completion of a PFAS softening study of the city's water treatment plant.
Any comment on the resolution? Call the roll.
Mayor Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Bateman?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Ori?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps?
Yes. Yes.
Resolution 117 is adopted by a vote of 7-0.
Mr. Medler.
Thank you, Mayor. So property taxes are due twice a year. Left on to the natural cycle, we would receive that revenue from our 3 counties in either March or April. We are permitted by ORC to request in advance upon those payments just to help us with cash flow issues that might happen during the beginning of the year. Last year, we got about $100,000 earlier, maybe about 1 to 2 months earlier, which was really helpful for us. So this is something that we do every year. With approval, I'll send it to Hamilton, Claremont, and Warren counties for advances. It does not change how much money we get. It just changes when we get it.
Thank you. Any comment or question? Mr. Blair?
You said we got 100,000 last year?
I think it was approximately 130,000.
So how much this year?
Probably a little bit more than that. It depends on the counties and their estimates of what they're going to give us and if they're feeling generous.
So it doesn't necessarily reflect the ultimate amount we'll get. This is just we're asking for kind of a down payment on what we're going to get.
Correct.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Read the resolution, please.
Resolution requesting county auditors to make advance payment of taxes.
Any comment on the resolution? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Bateman?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Ori?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps?
Yes.
Mr. Ping?
Yes.
Mayor Bailey?
Yes.
Resolution 118 is adopted by a vote of 7-0.
Mr. Medler.
Thank you, Mayor. So with our new budget software that we demonstrated here for council, and then that is available online for the residents and anyone else to see on the website, there's an annual cost to the ClearGov. And since it is above $15,000, we are required to take this to you for your approval. The amount is $26,400. It's the same monthly rate as what we were charged this current year, but the amount this year was less because we only had it for 11 months. So that's the only increase. And the future, we're looking at starting 2025, a 3% increase after that.
Okay. Any comment or question? Vice Mayor?
So the ClearGov software has been used for our budget that we're just dealing with currently and that we've put together for next year, correct?
Correct.
Yes. And we've seen presentations of it, and the public can certainly go online and look at it. It makes things a lot more readable, comprehensible, bowl because a lot of graphs. It's good stuff. Looks great. Thanks.
Thank you. And it's been great for staff. It's really helped free up a lot of time, not having to go through the clunky spreadsheets and deal with all that. So I'm very thankful for it.
Very good. Any other comment or question? Oh, yes, Mr. Hart.
You said starting in 2025, we're looking at a 3% increase. Is that like year over year in perpetuity, or is that like a one-time 3% that we know of?
I'd have to look back over the quote that they gave us. I know it's definitely in effect for 25.
Okay.
I can let you know.
Assuming we want to keep this software for a while. Now that we know how to use it, we put all the effort into building it, all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. And if we can keep it at 3%, that's great. I know a lot of our other software has been going up more than 3%.
Okay.
So having a number like that for 25 is definitely very good.
Okay.
All right. Anyone else? Read the resolution, please.
Resolution authorizing payment of annual license, support, and maintenance fees for the city's budgeting software.
Any comment on the resolution? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Blair.
Yes.
Mr. Hart.
Yes.
Mr. Ori.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps.
Yes.
Mr. Ping.
Yes.
Mayor Bailey.
Yes.
Mr. Bateman.
Yes.
Resolution 119 is adopted by a vote of 7-0.
Chief?
Thank you, Mayor. I did submit a memorandum, but I would like to just point out a few things to council about the purchase of the resolution to allow the city manager to enter into an agreement with Axon for the purchase of Taser 7. First tasers were launched in 1995. These conductive energy weapons became an invaluable tool for law enforcement, providing techniques needed to de-escalate most situations. Taser technology has shown dramatic reductions in injuries to both suspects and law enforcement officers when compliance cannot be gained through other methods. When used properly, medical and law enforcement experts have concluded that Taser technology is among the most effective use of force intervention available to law enforcement officers to halt violent situations that pose a safety risk to officers, suspects, or innocent citizens. We currently possess 24 Taser X2s in our inventory. Those are they're stopping production. Axon is stopping production of the X2. After they stop production, you will no longer be able to purchase replacement parts, if they do break, for anything that is out of warranty. By August of 2024, all of our X2s will fall out of warranty. So in addition to not being able to service them, and they are out of warranty, when they fall out of warranty, we're no longer covered by the $10 million liability insurance policy available from Taser and Axon for product failure due to worn out electronic components. So earlier this year, LPD purchased 3 Taser 7s to look at. Our instructors, we were able to secure 3 of those. Based on the options available and after testing the Taser 7, our LPD instructors recommended replacement of all Taser X2s with Taser 7s. They recommended a purchase of 23 additional. It would take our inventory up to 26, providing every sworn officer with a Taser and then a needed spare. The quote from Axon is attached in the packet. The quote included the Taser 7s, cartridges, training cartridges, holsters, the charging dock, batteries, everything that we would need, including software, upgrades continued through the life of the contract, and evidence storage. The estimated total given in this quote is $97,961.25. Axon continues to offer 0% financing for up to 60 months on all products purchased by governments, and the payment summary for each fiscal year of the contract would take that down to $19,592.25. Currently, Axon has not reported an exact price increase for 2024. However, they're expecting that to be somewhere in the range of 5 to 10% price increase for 2024. So, signing the contract prior to, I believe it's December 16th is the date that we have to lock in the current pricing. We would see a cost savings of somewhere in the 5 to 10% range. The 2024 payment for this purchase was included in the 2024 budget previously approved by Council. Council has 3 options Option 1, you could elect to disapprove the requested legislation or not adopt the legislation, therefore declining the purchase of the Taser 7s. You could choose to elect to modify the requested legislation, adjusting the equipment to purchase or the number that we would purchase. Option 3, City Council can elect to approve the requested legislation as presented, allowing the City Manager to enter into agreement with Axon Enterprise for the purchase of the Taser 7 and the items listed in the quote. I recommended to Council that they pursue Option 3, approve the requested legislation as presented. This option would continue to provide the most effective use of force intervention tool available to law enforcement officers to halt violent situations that pose a safety risk to an officer, suspect, or innocent citizen. And I would be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you, Chief. Any comments or questions? Yes, Mr. Ori.
Quick question. I know you can't give me a number off the top of your head, but do we deploy tasers often?
So I actually did go back at the request of Vice Mayor and look at that. So we average actual deployment about 1 per year. So it's not very high, the actual deployment. However, what we don't capture the statistics on is how many situations are de-escalated just by the mere presence of the taser. The public is very familiar with what the taser is and the effects that the taser has. So just the mere presence of the taser often de-escalates the situation. The last specific one was actually a subject in mental health crisis in January of 2023 who was wandering through the Heights neighborhood with a knife, threatening to harm himself. Officers were able to contain him, tried every available de-escalation technique that we had, trying to talk him down. Ultimately, the taser was deployed. He was not hurt. Our officers were not hurt. Civilians were not hurt. And we were able to get him secured and get him the mental health crisis intervention that he needed.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Mr.
I don't suppose you could be able to mount one of those things on a bike.
No, sir.
Any other questions? Yes, Mr. Hart. I'll miss that.
What is the lifespan of the taser?
So it's a 5-year lifespan traditionally. That's the standard. The extended warranty gets you out to 5 years. As long as it's going to be in production, they will extend that warranty beyond that. You can actually purchase extended warranties beyond that. Most traditionally, historically with Taser, their products are in service for about 10 years is where we're at. So, you know, the current ones that we have been in approximately a little over 10 years, actually. The Taser 7 is the replacement for what we have, and then they actually have developed their next phase, but it's quite a difference, and there's several other considerations. We can talk about that elsewhere, but it's the next phase is pretty advanced, and we're probably definitely several years from getting that. I think we're happy with the Taser 7, what we see with it.
So we could expect between 5 and 10 years.
5 to 10 years, yes, absolutely.
From these, and being able to get parts, being able to keeping that insurance policy that you spoke of.
Correct.
All those things stay in place.
Yes, as long as they offer an extended warranty, we would continue to get the extended warranty. You are eligible to get the liability insurance.
Perfect. Thank you.
Mr. Bateman?
Thank you. I just have a question about what happens to the old X2s. Are they decommissioned in some way, or?
Yeah, they actually. I mean, there are agencies that would absolutely still, like to have them. So we would go through the process for that we were required to do, taking it to the city manager and also to the finance director for disposal. Obviously, we can put them on to sale. They're restricted to law enforcement, or we could look at potentially donating them.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Read the resolution, please.
Resolution authorizing the execution of an agreement with Axon Enterprises, Inc. for the purchase of police tasers.
Any comment on the resolution? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Ori?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps?
Yes.
Mr. Ping?
Yes.
Mayor Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Bateman?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Resolution 120 is adopted by a vote of 7-0.
All right, there's the Mayor's Court report and various minutes and reports. Anybody have any comments on those? All right, as far as City Council reports, since we were together last, we had the Citizens Police Academy graduation ceremony. Mr. Kennedy and myself attended, along with Chief Gabrielson and Captain Gangor. Lieutenant Humphrey was there, as well as Lieutenant Campbell and Officer Moore, who actually run the academy for Loveland. And everybody I spoke to had rave reviews on the job that the two of them did. Lieutenant Campbell was particularly excited because one of our students won Top Shot, which there is a traveling trophy. That was good. Let's see. Also, there was the Little Miami River Chamber Alliance Annual Awards Dinner was held on November 16th. Mr. Kennedy and Mr. Wright were in attendance, along with myself and the Vice Mayor and Council members Ori and Ping. Also, there was Sean Hartness, our Assistant Public Works Director, and Rob Harden from the Public Works Department. They were there because they won. Actually, the Public Works Department won the Chamber Choice Award. Went to the City of Loveland Public Works Department for everything the Public Works Department does to make the events run so smoothly for the Chamber and for everything they do for the city. So that was cool. In addition to that, what did I count? There were 13 awards, and I'm competitive. This is Miami Township and Sims, isn't it? Sims, am I right on that?
Yes.
Sims Township and Loveland, all those businesses. And out of 13 awards, businesses in Loveland won 10 of them. So the Randy Stanifer Health, Wellness, and Fitness Business of the Year went to Gray Nutrition, which is located on West Loveland. Beautification Award went to Loveland Paddle Sports. Business Community Advocate Award went to the Life Food Pantry. Community Involvement Award, the Works Brick Oven Pizza. Community Responder Award went to Loveland Legacy Foundation. Woman-Owned Business of the Year went to the 1859. Hidden Hero Award went to Angels by the Trail. Best Customer Award, Service Award, Best Customer Service Award went to Hometown Cafe. And Business of the Year went to Paxton's. So congratulations to all of our businesses that won all of those wonderful awards, and to our Public Works Department. The Works celebrated, Mr. Kennedy and I attended, the Works had a 20th anniversary celebration, an entire weekend, but the ribbon cutting kickoff that we went to, whenever that was, a couple Fridays ago. I think that's all that has happened since then. A page of announcements. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Choose.
Loveland's Hometown Hero banners debuted last week along State Route 48, Oakland Road, and Loveland Miamiville Road. These banners honor 33 Loveland residents who are serving or who have served the United States Armed Forces. This project was created by the city's Veterans Memorial Committee to honor local veterans. The program was supported by Duke Energy, which provided a $7,500 grant to offset banner printing, mounting, and installation fees. In addition, the American Legion Post 256 donated $3,000 toward the inspection and approval of the utility poles. So I don't know if you've had an opportunity to see them, but they are pretty cool, and I think it's pretty awesome that we're honoring these individuals. Citizens who wish to be considered for any board, commission, or committee must complete an application and submit it to the Clerk of Council by November 30th. Applications are available on our website. This holiday season, the Loveland Police Department hopes to help others and take the Grinch out of receiving a citation. On Thanksgiving Day, the Loveland Police Department launched a Food for Fines program that will run through Christmas Day. During this time, when officers issue a warning slip for specific traffic-related violations, such as speeding, violators will be invited to donate 10 items within 10 days in lieu of paying a fine. All donations will be given to Loveland Life Food Pantry to distribute. This program is organized with the cooperation of the City of Loveland Administration, Loveland Mayor's Court, Life Food Pantry, and the Loveland Citizens Police Academy alumni. Loveland's annual Christmas Tree Lighting Festival is this Saturday, December 2nd, from 4 to 8 at Jackson Street Market. Admission is free. It will include live entertainment, holiday character meet and greets, a holiday craft market, food trucks, visitors from Newport Aquarium's Wave Foundation, and from the North Pole. Special guest Mr. Grouchy and local celebrity Julie O'Neill. Tree lighting ceremony will begin at 7 p.m., followed by a holiday-themed drone show with approximately 100 drones synced to music. This event is presented by the City of Loveland, the Loveland Sims Firefighters Association, and the Shops of Browns Crossing. And I guess, the tree lighting takes place on the bike trail near Browns Crossing. I assume you'll be able to see this light show from anywhere. I don't know. That would be the place to be, though.
I think so.
Earlier in that day, also this Saturday coming up, RP Diamond will host once again Santa Land from noon to 4 in the Loveland Plaza on Loveland Madeira Road. More information regarding that event and any other community events can be found on our website. And as a reminder, our next council meeting is actually next Monday at 7 p.m. Did anyone have anything else? Mr. Ori.
I would like to just extend a thank you to Kent, Mr. Blair, for being on council for the last 6 years. We've also become good friends outside of council, behind us, out of this room, and that has become, with your little gift tonight, pretty obvious what we were talking about. Like, we both like making sand or sawdust and building projects. In fact, Kent and I are going to be building 12 Adirondack chairs that will last forever. We're going to hope they do anyway. That'll be out on the patio by the clock this winter. So we'll see those hopefully in the spring. I also have really enjoyed our Saturday breakfasts and look forward to working with you on that project again, continuing that. But I want to just make sure that, and everybody knows this, Kent has served this council with integrity, honesty, empathy, and humility. And we really thank you, Kent, for that, for being on here, for also your entertaining and witty personality. So, become a good friend. Thank you. Thank you, Neil.
Thank you, Mr. Ori. Does anyone else have any comment? Mr. Bateman?
Yeah, I will join the chorus in singing Mr. Blair's praises. I certainly have a soft spot in my heart for a fellow running mate from 2019. I think when you campaign with somebody, you become closer with that sort of shared struggle and makes you grow closer. But I always admired Mr. Blair and his strong character that he exhibits in making decisions. He's a very decisive person. You can clearly see that those decisions are being made off of the basis of what's best for others, not what's best for him. Just happens to make sense to him to do what's best for others. And I think that comes through very clearly. He's got a tremendous sense of humanity, I think, that he brings to the role of city council. It's just he doesn't take it too seriously. He recognizes that while what we do here is certainly important, there are others in this community that work for this municipality that literally put their lives on the line. And I think that perspective has helped make him a very valuable and treasured member of this body. That humanity is expressed in his humor, in his candor, and in countless idioms, I think, that we happen to be blessed with. So certainly we'll miss those. And just to paraphrase, I think one of them, it's a wise man who plants seeds whose flowers he may not see bloom. And Mr. Blair, you've been like that wise man over these last 6 years. And I hope that you get many chances to stop and smell the roses which you've tended here so lovingly these past 6 years. So thank you for your service, and I look forward to continuing our friendship.
Thank you, Andy.
Very nice. Anybody else have any comment? Vice Mayor?
Yeah, Mr. Blair, you'll be missed. You're a good man. Appreciated what you've done for the city. You've brought, I think, a perspective that's been needed and been very helpful. I think that you're naturally a curious person, and so I think it's been great in terms of sitting down with staff and trying to sort things out, trying to understand. I think we all need to probably do more of that. Speaking for myself, I know that's true. But I think it's all part of a quest to understand others, and that's a huge beneficial characteristic that you obviously got from your parents, and you have been one of the most approachable people as well. And so I think you're going to stay involved in the city. I don't think you're being Mr. Grouchy on December 2nd, are you? That's not you. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. But I know you're going to continue with your city involvement, and I commend that. And again, thank you for your service to the city.
Thank you, Ted.
Any other comment? All right. Would you like to make the motion to adjourn, Mr. Blair?
No, goddammit, I wouldn't.
No. I'm sure.
I move to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Ori,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps,
Yes.
Mr. Ping,
Yes.
Mayor Bailey,
Yes.
Mr. Bateman,
Yes.
Mr. Blair, Mr. Blair,
Mr. Blair, you have to speak.
Mr. Blair,
You can say no.
No.
Mr. Hart.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-1.